everyone. Welcome, y'all. And this is Trenton and CJ, and this is the Sci-Fly Zone, where the multiverse meets the seventh inning stretch, and today's destination will take us to the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, as the results of both the AL and the NL rosters have been announced. And CJ, we got some things to discuss here. Some crazy stuff.
Yes, absolutely. We have a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, we got some major snubs, some voting drama, and most importantly, players are wearing their own jerseys again in the game. Let's go. Let's go. No more wonky All-Star Game jerseys. Some have been good, but seeing everyone in their own jerseys, to me personally, looks way better.
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad they're bringing it back. I'm excited for it. I feel like it kind of adds to the sort of spectacle of like everybody around the league coming like on one team and like playing as teammates like for one day, one night only, Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It just adds some more uniqueness to the game. A modern example of that is like, I think it was maybe the game in Cincinnati where Trout hit a leadoff homer off of Zach Greinke, but it was Zach Greinke in a Dodgers uniform.
I think that was 2014 or 13.
Yeah, I think it was around that time. Yeah. Because
we were actually at our local pizza spot playing video games when that.
Oh well, wow.
I actually have I literally have a vivid memory of that. Here, I'll actually tell it to you. Okay. We were playing a water ski racing game. I remember we were like, oh crap, dude, Trout's leading off. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And then we look over, and then like the next guy's batting, and it's 1-0, and we're like, wait, what happened?
It's already over.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was like Zach Greinke pitching to like I think Buster Posey was catching in like his Giants uniform, and it was just like that screenshot of Greinke, Trout, and Posey all in their own uniforms was like just super cool to me.
Remember, Greinke was an angel.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and then he became a Dodger and was incredible for them.
Yes, we like the players in their own jerseys.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, but we will also be discussing some trade rumors and some brief discussions on some notable injuries and performances. Specifically, shout out to Clayton Kershaw getting 3,000 strikeouts. We'll dive into that and the implications of that, and also just the results of that game in general, because it was a very, very eventful game. A lot happened, a lot of drama. Ready to go, CJ?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, before we go through who has made the rosters, I wanted to talk about some people who should have at least made it to the second round of voting, but didn't. Some first round snubs. And I also want to add that Michael Conforto is batting 176 with 6 home runs and 19 RBIs, and he placed as the 13th highest National League outfield vote getter. You Dodger fans. You are the reason why there are so many snubs, and you need to own that.
That is true. Yeah, that's very true. There's nothing incorrect said there.
So yeah, first player that I want to dive into here is actually a result of you Dodger fans. Partially, at least. Another fan base that is that has to be accountable for this are the Mets, but we have Elly De La Cruz. I'm going to put up a screenshot here of Elly De La Cruz's stats versus Mookie Betts and Francisco Lindor, and just take a look here. Take a look here.
Bad.
Elly De La Cruz,
real bad.
When compared to Mookie Betts and Francisco Lindor, only Lindor has 3 better stats than Elly De La Cruz. And that's just 0.1 better WAR, 10 more plate appearances, and a match in OPS. And here's the kicker. Elly De La Cruz got outvoted by over 900,000 votes.
Was it really that bad?
It was that bad. 900,000 votes.
Wow.
And he has better stats than Mookie Betts and Lindor easily.
Yeah, basically all of his stats. Every offensive category, essentially, is Elly De La Cruz.
I'm livid. I mean, like, this shouldn't be the case. Like, if a player is outperforming at their position, at the end of the year, they're almost always rewarded for that, with the gold gloves or the silver sluggers. But for the All-Star game, why is it left so much up to the fans, and the league can't have like a bit more control over who should justifiably make the team. Like, come on.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Elly De La Cruz is a guy that's like, from the MLB's perspective, they want to push that guy like as one of the faces of baseball. You know, he was like one of the most exciting, flashy, like
He was
young
on
players.
the cover of MLB The Show 25.
Yeah.
And you're just not going to get him into the All-Star game a little bit?
It's crazy. And something that I find really interesting is I'm looking at these stat comparisons, and Mookie Betts has a 97 OPS plus. So he is playing.
He's under league average.
He is under league average, and understand
like
how good of a player he was. Joe Schmo is
better than Mookie Betts technically right now.
Yeah. I feel like the fact that Mookie is in a finalist with 97 OPS plus shows that it's very much because of how popular he is. It's not because they're like overlooking Elly's stats or don't realize how good he is, because then they maybe would have voted for like maybe Trey Turner would be a finalist instead because he's having a pretty good season. You know, maybe somebody else at shortstop who's doing above league average would be a finalist instead of Mookie. But it's very much like he is a Dodger. He's a beloved player. And I love him too. Mookie's great.
Yeah,
he's been one of my favorite players.
We're not trying to hop on the Mookie Betts hate train.
Absolutely.
But like when we're comparing stats and who is justifiably deserving of a starting All-Star spot or at least a second round position.
Yeah.
Elly De La Cruz deserves it way more than Mookie Betts.
Totally.
And more than Lindor. That is just statistically factual.
Yep. 100%.
So Elly De La Cruz, if you somehow see this clip, should have made it. I hope somehow you get in as a reserve, like if someone gets injured or something. And to the player who gets injured, I hope it's not a season-ending injury. Hope you're good, just not good enough to play in the game. Give Elly De La Cruz your spot.
Yeah. I hope I think he's gonna make it as a reserve, probably as the Reds representative if they don't have like Andrew Abbott maybe. But I would be surprised if he doesn't get a bench spot, you know. Then we can get really upset. Then it's going to be a really interesting episode if Elly isn't a bench spot.
Yeah. Do you want to do a player?
Yeah. So one of the players that I think got absolutely snubbed by the voting system is Eugenio Suarez.
100%.
He's been one of the best third basemen in all of baseball this year. And for the past several years, honestly. We just talked about him a little bit in the last episode, one of my picks for the home run derby. He's over 300 career home runs now. And this year, he actually currently has a higher OPS plus than he's ever had in any single season. His highest OPS plus in a season was 2018 for the Reds. It was a 136. Right now, he's got a 138 OPS plus. So technically, he's doing the best that he's ever done in his career. He's got 26 homers right now. It's good for 5th in all of baseball. I think he's top 5 or 10 in RBIs as well. And yeah, he's just been great this year. We'll talk about the finalists a little bit later, but it was sort of a more packed position at third base. I feel like the finalists, or the guys who were finalists at this position, are probably pretty deserving of it. They've both been having good years. But I do think that Suarez probably should have been a finalist over one of, if not both of them.
Definitely, I agree.
And I mentioned he has the second highest OPS among third basemen. The only guy he's behind is Bregman, who's been out for like what seems like a month. So he's the only active player right now with an OPS like that. And he's just been one of the few bright spots for the Diamondbacks this year.
Yeah, I mean, him and Corbin Carroll. Kelly.
Yep. Yeah, they were a couple other guys. I was considering talking about Corbin Carroll. He probably could have gotten an all-star start. Yeah.
One more guy that I did want to go over, James Wood.
Yeah.
At the time of the end of voting for Phase 1 ended, he ranked 5th in National League Outfield in OPS Plus at 161. Which means, for those who don't know or remember what that stat means, his on-base percentage and slugging percentage, when combined and compared to the rest of the National League as a whole, it adds up to 61% better than the average National League outfielder. He also had 19 doubles, 22 home runs, and 63 RBIs, and a WAR better than Juan Soto. at 3.7, and he didn't make it to the next phase.
Wow. Yeah, when you say it out loud, I mean, he's been doing incredible this year. It's really frustrating. He was one of the guys that I was most surprised didn't get a finalist spot. You know, he's been doing incredible this year.
Yeah. Speaking of finalists, we can get into the finalists now.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we've just discussed a few guys who really should have made it into this round. And I also wanted to kind of make this a little game. We can make this a little fun here. So after we reveal who the final two players are for the position in the respective leagues, and we reveal who won out of those two players, we will say if we agree or disagree if that player should have won over the other player, and we will see how we feel at the end of the rosters to see if we feel it was a fair starting nine or not.
Yep, awesome. I like it.
Cool. So let's start us off with the top vote getters here. Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani are the top vote getters of the All-Star game, so they automatically are voted in. Aaron Judge got 4 million votes, and Shohei Ohtani got 3.9 million votes. So they both basically got 4 million votes. Pretty good.
Yeah, not a huge surprise there. They're the two biggest names in baseball right now, two biggest markets too, for defending MVPs, and they've both been doing incredible this year. So yeah, I'm really not surprised about that.
Yeah, completely valid, and they're both having great years.
Yeah.
So for the American League catchers, we have Cal Raleigh and Alejandro Kirk, and you know, Kirk's having a decent year, but Cal Raleigh is having the best catcher offensive year of all time currently.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cal Raleigh obviously won.
Yeah.
And I agree that he should have won 100%.
Yeah, I completely agree too. We talked about a couple of episodes ago how historically good Cal Raleigh has been doing this year, both as a catcher and a switch hitter, and like playing every day too. He's really just been one of the most valuable players in all of baseball. Alejandro Kirk has been having a great year. He's been a big part of the Blue Jays' success. He's hitting over 300 as a catcher, which is always really valuable. But yeah, there's not really much that he could do to give him a better chance over Cal Raleigh. I think he has the most multi-hit games for the Blue Jays as a catcher all time. I feel like that's a stat I heard the other day. I think he just got like his fourth. He had like a 4-hit game the other day. And yeah, I mean, that's what he does. He hits. He's really good at hitting. But Cal Raleigh is just one of the best all-around catchers in baseball.
Yeah, no, respect to Kirk. I mean, if Cal Raleigh wasn't having a historic season, he definitely deserves a spot. I mean, he should be a backup catcher, maybe, if that's a thing. If he can pull that off. But yeah, so we agree Cal Raleigh definitely should be the catcher. Moving on, we got Vlad Jr. and Paul Goldschmidt for first base. And the winner was Vlad Jr.
So, out of the two of these guys, I am happy Vlad won over Goldschmidt. I think between the two of them, Vlad is having a better year. But I don't think either of them should have been the starter, if I'm being honest.
You want to go with your boy Aranda, right?
I want to go with my boy Aranda. I've been voting
Johnny Aranda.
Johnny Aranda, every time that I've voted on a ballot, it's been Jonathan Aranda has been my first baseman because he's been the best first baseman in the American League. He's hitting 325 this year. He's got a 3.1 WAR and a 156 OPS plus. And he's not even necessarily like power numbers. I mean, he has 10 homers this year. He's leading Vlad and Goldschmidt in every offensive category except for stolen bases, games, and plate appearances. And Vlad has 2 more homers in all of them. On base, slugging, OPS. He's got more hits. Like, he's got more RBIs. He has been under the radar, one of the best first basemen in baseball.
And he's also played almost every game, if not every game.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been there like Cal Ripken, if you will. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, he's been Mr. Consistent for them all year. And I hope he gets to be a reserve, but, you know, he's not a finalist, so it is between Vlad and Goldschmidt. And
I
I
will
do
say
think
Vlad should have won over Goldschmidt, so I will
yeah,
go with that.
yeah.
So
So I
Goldschmidt's
think
having a great year as well.
yeah, totally, yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure how much longer he's going to be around. He's 37 right now, but I mean he won the MVP when he was 34, 33. So we'll see how much longer he's around. But yeah, so I think technically I agree with Vlad being the starter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
But shout out Jonathan Aranda.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that for sure. So at second base, we got Gleyber Torres and Jackson Holiday. And
Yeah.
the winner, Gleyber Torres.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I'm happy for him, honestly. I feel like it's probably out of the two of these, I think it's the right decision. I think Gleyber's been having a little bit of a better season than Holiday. Yeah, I mean he's been having a great year after leaving New York, first year as a Tiger.
Yeah.
I think he's been doing really well. He's been a really important piece to the Tigers' success this year. So yeah, I'm happy that he is going to be the starter. I was a little surprised that Brandon Lowe wasn't a finalist. That's another Ray who was kind of snubbed, but
I think that's just a product of being a Tampa Bay Ray, unfortunately. Yeah. I mean, you could say the same about Byron Buxton this year as well. Him being on the Twins really snubbed him. I mean, going into the end of the first round of voting, by the way, for Byron Buxton, another guy that actually got snubbed, third in OPS and home runs and fourth in RBI and WAR in American League outfielders.
Jeez, that is... Yeah, that's a bad snub. He's been having a great season. Glad he's been healthy. We talked about him a little bit. Yeah, totally deserves an all-star appearance.
For sure. But yeah, I'm also with you. I think Gleyber should have taken it over Holiday. I mean, in terms of performance, they're doing about the same overall with Gleyber doing better in some more numbers. And also, it seems Gleyber is providing a lot more value to his team and helping take the Tigers really far, probably into the playoffs.
Yeah, that's. I imagine that probably has some level of effect on it as well. The Tigers are the first place team. I think they're still the best team in baseball right now. Going up against Orioles are in last place right now. So yeah, people are definitely paying more attention to Detroit than they are Baltimore right now.
Yeah. So moving on, now we have third base. We have Jose Ramirez and Alex Bregman.
I wonder who it was.
J-Ram got his flowers, baby.
Yes, sir.
Go. He deserves them.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's honestly no issues with this. He absolutely should have been the starter. He's one of the best all-around players in baseball. I mean, the power and speed combination that he has is something that like not really many players have anymore. It's usually like one or the other. Like, I mean, Aaron Judge is hitting 30 homers, but he's not stealing as many bases as Jose Caballero, who's not hitting as many homers as Pete Alonso, you know. Yeah, Jose Ramirez just does it all. And he's been one of the best third basemen in all of baseball. And the other finalist was Alex Bregman, who has been hurt for about the last month. So
he face planted.
Yeah. yeah.
Although I know it wasn't that injury, but I wanted to that.
Yeah. So yeah, Jose Ramirez, starting third baseman, absolutely deserves it.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify, he is hitting .318 with a .378 on-base percentage and a .516 slugging percentage. And if he hits 7 more home runs, he'll hit his 5th straight 2020 season.
Wow. 5th straight?
Yeah.
He almost went 40-40 last year, bro. And nobody talks about it. If he was a Dodger or if he was a Yankee, everybody would be talking about him as one of the best players in baseball.
Two-time MVP.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, yeah.
So, yeah, we agreed our boy J-Ram needs to be there for sure.
Yep. Yeah.
Moving on, American League shortstops. We got Jacob Wilson and Bobby Witt Jr. And again, I agree that Jacob Wilson definitely deserved to start this game.
Yeah, I agree too. I was happy with this outcome. This was a kind of an interesting matchup. I mean, Bobby Witt Jr. has been playing great this year. I think he has maybe the most doubles in baseball, or at least in the American League. He's hitting about 285. So, but I mean, the batting average is really hard to ignore. The 339 really jumps off the page for Jacob Wilson. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't really care about batting average as much as they used to. But when a guy is hitting like 330, or when Jonathan Aranda is hitting 325, you know that
today's pitching.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, everybody, even major league players, are talking about like how pitching is surpassing hitting as far as development goes. You know.
Sorry, it's really funny you mention that because just a little tidbit. I saw George Springer complaining about the pitching recently, and then the other day he hit 2 home runs, including a grand slam. So I'm like, that's.
He's just trying to make himself look better.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's so hard. But yeah, Jacob Wilson. I'm really happy that he got the starting spot over Bobby Witt.
Yeah, me too, especially as a rookie. I mean, what a guy.
Yeah, what a guy.
It's really funny that we've been talking so much crap about how bad the Snubs have been, but like the Snubs are bad, but people got a lot smarter with the finalists.
We've agreed with pretty much everybody that has.
Yeah, everyone started turning on their brains once they realized who made it.
Yeah, they had too many options. You have to tell people what.
Okay, Kendrick. So for outfield, we had 4 finalists in Riley Green, Javi Baez, Mike Trout, and Steven Kwan.
Yeah, Steven Kwan and Mike Trout got outvoted by Riley Green and Javier Baez, which, I mean, kind of similar with Gleyber Torres. Everyone's paying attention to Detroit. They're the best team in baseball right now.
Yeah.
And Javier Baez has been a big part of it. Riley Green's been a huge part of it. He's hitting 296.
So consistent.
Yeah. I mean, despite the strikeout numbers, he's hitting 296 with 19 homers right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he got MVP votes maybe at the end of the year. So the 2 of them being paired with Judge, who, as we talked about earlier, was guaranteed a spot from the first round.
Yeah. So that's why there were only two people coming out of this, because Judge already guaranteed a spot.
Yeah. I like how the outfield looks. I feel good about it. Shout out to Javier Baez moving to center field and immediately becoming an all-star.
Yeah,
I think that happens a lot.
So awesome to see the resurgence of Javi Baez.
Yeah, 100%.
So last but not least, for the American League, we have the designated hitter. We have Ryan O'Hearn and Ben Chicken and Rice. And then, Ryan O'Hearn, he deserves it.
Yeah.
As the one Oriole really doing something this year.
Yeah, pretty much. I was glad that he was a starter. He has been hitting great. He's been one of the best DHs in baseball. He's hitting around 300 right now.
301.
Okay. He passed 300. Okay. I think he was hitting 297 when I was taking my notes. So he must have gotten a couple hits. He's been great. A really, really important piece for the Orioles, but it hasn't been working out for them in the rest of the areas. But I'm glad that he got it over Ben Rice. There was a part of me that maybe thought the Yankees' popularity was going to get Ben Rice in over Ryan O'Hearn, but I'm glad Ryan O'Hearn's a starter. So
that is the American League side of the All-Star starting 9. Just to go over it, we have Cal Raleigh, Ryan O'Hearn, Vlad Jr., Gleyber Torres, Jose Ramirez, Jacob Wilson, Aaron Judge, Riley Green, and Javier Baez. And I do want to make a little note on Jacob Wilson. He will be the first Oakland A, well, no longer Oakland, sadly. He'll be the first A Athletic to be part of the starting 9 since 2014.
Wow.
Yeah, the A's have not had a starting spot in the All-Star game since 2014 with Josh Donaldson at third base.
Oh, okay, it was Donaldson. I wasn't sure if it was either Donaldson or Cespedes or Josh Reddick or Brandon Moss.
Yeah.
Donaldson makes sense, honestly. Yeah. That was the year before he won MVP.
Yeah.
It was last year in Oakland.
Yep.
So, wow, over 10 years. Good for Jacob Wilson.
Yeah, as a rookie.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, moving on to the National League. Ding, 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 ding. we have catcher Will Smith and Carson Kelly. And obviously the Dodger won.
Yep.
But
No surprise there.
But Will Smith does genuinely deserve the starting spot, though.
Yeah.
Despite being a Dodger, his performance is deserving of the starting spot. I mean, he's by far the best offensive catcher in the league.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think he's leading National League in batting average and on base percentage. He honestly, I didn't realize how good of a year he was having until I like really dove into his stats. I knew his batting average was up, but I figured he had like missed some time or something. But he's been one of the most consistent hitters in the National League. Really, really big piece for the Dodgers. He's having I would say his best season of his career. And he's had some really good years. He's a huge factor of why the Dodgers are doing so good this year.
For sure.
And shout out to Carson Kelly too. He's been having a great year as well. He had a really great stretch for like a couple weeks where he was like one of the best catchers in the National League. But I do think that Will Smith was the correct option here.
Yeah, and also shout out to Hunter Goodman as well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, apparently he's playing some outfield too, which I didn't know. I think he started in right field the other day, so
that's pretty cool.
But I mean, yeah, he's been having a great year. He probably deserved to be maybe a finalist or like in the conversation of guys. I think I voted for him a couple times.
He did. He finished fourth, so he did go pretty high in the voting.
Okay, good. Yeah,
but
good
I mean, Will Smith had 3.4 million votes in second place, with Carson Kelly had 1.1. So, but that was at the end of the first round of voting. I'm not sure how close it was after that, but it couldn't have been that close.
Yeah, I don't imagine it got much closer because Will Smith just keeps getting better, it seems like.
Yeah, so now we have National League first base, and I have our first disagreement. Pete Alonso should have started over Freddie Freeman.
I like it.
100%. Yeah. Let me just put a screenshot here, but I'll talk about it. So, I mean, the WAR, he almost has a full WAR more than Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
He's got more hits. He has 8 more home runs, 22 more RBIs. I mean, almost the same batting average, nearly identical on base percentage, slugging more OPS plus. I mean, and he also is leading a contending playoff team. Yeah, they have been pretty slow as of late, 100%. But Pete Alonso deserves it, 100%, in my opinion. And I'm not saying Freddie doesn't. Freddie also does deserve it. But I think Pete Alonso deserves it more.
Yeah. Honestly, I agree with you. I think Pete Alonso totally could have been the starter here and maybe should have been the starter. Freddie Freeman was off to an insane start for the first like couple months of the season.
For sure.
He was hitting like 368 with 9 homers for a while. I think he's hitting 308 now with 10 homers. So
yeah, he's on my fantasy team. You know, like I'm rooting for the guy.
Yeah,
but Pete deserves it.
100%. Yeah, I feel like Freeman's numbers have sort of slowed down a little bit, but Pete Alonso has been on fire. He's one of the best first basemen in the National League, and the power numbers are like there are not a lot of guys in the MLB with more power than Pete Alonso. He's like always a homer threat. Probably one of the guys you'd least want to face in the playoffs, I'd say. At least one of the guys that Devin Williams would least like to face in the playoffs. So
nice. Dude, his home run off of Devin Williams was genuinely one of the best MLB moments in the last decade. Yeah,
it was so cool. So cool to see live.
Yeah, like it capped off like so much momentum like being brought up to that point. It was incredible.
Yeah, it really was a great moment, and he hasn't been slowing down at all since last year. There was some weird contract stuff in the offseason. They didn't want to give him a long deal. He signed, I think it's like a 2-year deal with like maybe an option for one of them, but by the time his next contract comes up, there better be a lot less hesitation to sign him, because he has proven that he's one of the best first basemen in all of baseball.
Yeah, I know. I think he'll stay. I think he wants to stay.
I hope so too.
I think he's like
worked
Trout
there.
with the Angels, at least
Mhm.
before he signed the contract.
Yeah.
Trout probably
Yeah.
changed his opinions on things a little bit after
Mhm.
everything, given how tough it's been since then.
Yeah.
Not his fault, really. I mean, he's
Mhm.
been injured amongst other things, but it's just tough. But yeah,
Yeah.
they should definitely re-sign him 100%.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So moving on to second base here, we have Ketel Marte and Tommy Edman. And thank God Ketel Marte beat out Tommy Edman, because it shouldn't even have been this close, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Marte
Um,
deserves it 100%.
I completely agree. Marte is the best second baseman in the National League, maybe the best second baseman in all of baseball. We talked earlier about how second base position in the AL was a little shallow.
Yeah.
So Ketel Marte, I mean, over the last like 5-6 year span since he became a Diamondback, he's been like their captain, basically, like their most valuable player essentially.
Yeah.
He's like one of the most consistent players in baseball, one of the best like power hitting second basemen, and doing it like as a switch hitter. Like there's not a lot of players like Ketel Marte, and he's
he's very unique.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got the power, he's got speed. He's a perfect like two hitter for a team, I feel like.
100%.
Yeah, and I'm glad he got the All-Star start.
Yeah, I do think that Nico Horner should have made it over Tommy Edman.
Yeah.
For sure, but I still think Ketel Marte was the most deserving National League second baseman, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, I'm really glad MLB had such a firm response on that comment that fan made about his mom.
Yeah. The reaction from like the fans and the MLB was really good to see. Obviously, like a terrible situation. I feel like sometimes fans like will go to a game and feel like they can just say or do anything to a player and like they're untouchable and it won't like affect anybody.
Yeah.
But that's absolutely not true. These are like human beings who go through really tough things, and for that fan to, I mean, like make that comment, there's really no place in baseball for that.
100%. So next up, we have third base here. We have Machado and Muncy. And, thank God Machado won, because if Muncy would have won, he wouldn't have been able to play. Anyway, he hurt his leg in the most recent game as of today. Right? It was last night?
Yeah,
he hurt his leg as of last night. Very tough injury, sadly. So even if he would have won, Machado likely would have taken his spot anyway. So but I do hope Muncy is able to come back by the end of the year, hopefully, and maybe be a bench bat in the playoffs.
I do too. Yeah, he's been off to a really great stretch recently. He did struggle a little bit, but yeah, as you said, as you had mentioned before, the glasses have really been helping him. I honestly thought that this was going to be like a more obvious choice before like actually comparing the stats, but they are pretty not like even. They're each leading in like different things, but I mean, like Machado has more hits and a higher batting average. He had like a 330 batting average at one point. The start that he was off to was great. But despite that, Max Muncy still has a higher on-base percentage than him. Max Muncy's hitting 250, but he has a 375 on-base percentage. He's been getting walked a ton. He has a higher OPS plus than Machado. So yeah, I am glad that Machado is the starter, although, as I mentioned earlier, I do think Eugenio Suarez probably could have gotten some more love.
Yeah, here, I'll put up a screenshot here comparing Max Muncy to Eugenio Suarez, because it really should have been Suarez in the final two.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, he wasn't going to play anyways because of his injury, obviously. Hope he gets well soon. But I like Machado as a starting third baseman.
Yeah, me too. I'm with that. So next up, we have shortstop here, and we already have briefly gone over this. Even though it was between Lindor and Mookie Betts, we both probably agree that it was Elly De La Cruz who should have been the starting man between these two. Yeah,
I do. Although I am glad Lindor is the starter out of the two of these guys.
Yes, 100%.
This is kind of a a crazy fact, but since Francisco Lindor came to the Mets, he has never made an All-Star game. Not as in like hasn't been a starter. He has not even been a reserve in the All-Stars since
That's
being
crazy.
a Met. And he put up 12 WAR over the span of 2 seasons. Like, he's been one of the best shortstops in baseball basically since he got into the league.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that he's never been an All-Star. So I'm glad that he's finally getting his flowers. Although Elly De La Cruz probably deserves a spot.
Yeah, I would say Lindor definitely deserves to be at least a reserve.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Mookie does not deserve to be an All-Star this year.
No, he
He's
shouldn't
not
have been a finalist.
He's not having a bad year, but he's not having an All-Star year. Come on.
No, yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
So
Love him.
Yeah.
But, you know.
100%. Love him, but no.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I am happy that Lindor at least won over Mookie Betts, but should have been Elly.
Yeah.
So now we move on to our outfield, and our finalists were PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong. For some reason, Teoscar Hernandez, although he is having a lot of RBIs this year, so I can get that. Ronald Acuna Jr., that's crazy. I mean, he's having a great year, but not a lot of games played. We got Kyle Tucker, Andy Pages, and Juan Soto. And here's the crazy thing. Our finalists were PCA, Kyle Tucker, and Ronald Acuna Jr. Despite only playing 36 games this year, has earned a starting All-Star spot over Andy Pages and Juan Soto.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised about this. Obviously, the sample size is very small compared to he's played less than half of the games this season. And I mean, the games that he has played, he has been great.
Yeah.
We've talked about how good he's been since coming back from his injury.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like when we're talking about all-star starters, it should probably go to the guys who have been having the best years all around, and not just the best, like, 5 or 6 weeks, you know? Yeah, I mean, like, 36 games, that's like how many, they play like 6 games a week, at least, probably 5 or 6 games a week. So he's been playing for like 6 or 7 weeks. So yeah, I mean, I like Acuna. I'm glad that he's playing well. But I do think that it probably should have gone to either Andy Pages or Juan. No, it should have gone to James Wood. It should have been James Wood as a starter, honestly. Should be,
yes.
Yeah. I do agree with PCA and Kyle Tucker being starters.
Yeah.
They've both been having great years. It would be cool if we had James Wood in the outfield with him, so we could have 3 lefties. Cool. It would be cool. 3 lefty outfielders. I think that'd be fun. But yeah, the Cubs are in first place, and it has a lot to do with PCA and Kyle Tucker being 2 of the best outfielders. I mean, I think Kyle Tucker has like 15 to 20 steals, I think, something like
20,
that.
Yeah.
20 steals, yeah. I mean, I never really like picture him as a speed guy, but he's had like 20 seasons. He's been close to like 30 seasons.
A 5-tool player.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
a good guy.
Yeah, 100%. That was a great signing for the Cubs. Yeah, and it's really been paying off for them.
Yeah, although it is crazy to see Houston still have a lot of success without him. You know, I've made this point before. You know, teams somehow still manage to do good when they lose one of their star players, and Houston is one of them.
Yeah,
that's coming from an Angel fan, everybody.
Yep,
that's coming from an Angel fan. Houston is doing good. I can say it. You know, I'm a real baseball fan, not just an Angel fan. But this isn't the first time we've seen a player with not a lot of playing time get a major spot in the All-Star game. I mean, just last year, Paul Skeens, he only made 11 starts, and he started the All-Star game for the National League.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, I know that was definitely a point of conversation for people last year. He was obviously having, I mean, kind of a similar situation to Acuna. He didn't play a lot of games, but the games that he did play were really, really excellent. Like, he was, I mean, he probably could have won Cy Young if Chris Sale didn't have a Triple Crown year. But But yeah, I mean, and I do think it's also something to say about the game being played in Atlanta, because that's a big part of why he's in the home run derby too. Having the hometown guy is really important for a lot of the fans to be able to, who are attending the game, get to see their guy representing their team in their stadium. It is a cool thing. I'm happy for Acuna, but it probably should have gone to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Juan Soto's slow start to the year is the primary reason for why he's not an all-star now.
Yeah, totally.
He's heated up. I mean, since May 30th, he actually has the best OPS in baseball at 1.26.
Wow. Yeah, he's
What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, I can't really say I'm surprised. I mean, he was off to a slow start, but he's one of the best hitters in baseball. So yeah, I mean,
But now he's gonna be like us. We're gonna be like-minded individuals. We're gonna hate the voting system.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
Although the richest man in baseball might not give a crap if he doesn't make the All-Star team.
Yeah,
I mean, whatever truck they're gonna give him at the end of the game anyway, he can just get it himself.
Yeah, true. Oh, that's interesting. Who would be who's gonna be the MVP of the game?
Ooh, that's a good question. That was a very zesty response.
Ooh.
You know what? Cal Raleigh.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, dude.
I was looking at his name.
It's already written, bro. It's gonna be Cal Raleigh.
Yeah. He's gonna hit a 3-run homer. Maybe he's gonna hit 2 homers. Who knows, dude? He's gonna hit 1 from each side. I don't think that's ever been done in the All-Star game, probably. Yeah, Cal Raleigh for the MVP. Yeah. Oh, we didn't really go over the DH.
It's Ohtani.
Yeah, surprise.
Yeah, well, because I was gonna get there, but
right.
He was already voted in automatically, so the DH wasn't even necessarily up for grabs in the second phase anyway.
Yeah, or the first phase for that matter. It was Ohtani all the way.
Yeah, unfortunately, National League DHs were not faring well. I mean, that sucks because the National League has a lot of good DHs. Let me name a couple here who tried to make it in but had to go up against Ohtani. Rafael Devers.
Yeah. Okay, National League DH. That's crazy to think.
Yeah. Kyle Schwarber.
Mm-hmm.
Seiya Suzuki.
Yeah.
Deserves it. He deserves to be here.
Talk about him. Yeah.
I don't know. I can throw Marcelo Zuna in there too.
Yeah.
I don't think he's necessarily having an all-star season, but he's not having a bad year either.
Yeah, he's not having a bad year.
But yeah, that is the current all-star game results. Crazy town.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Elly De La Cruz. That's all I'm gonna say. And Wood.
Yeah. 2 really big snubs.
So we are going to dive into 2 more brief topics here. The first being another RIP in being Spencer Schwellenbach. He is probably going to be out for the year with a fractured elbow in his throwing arm.
Yeah. Really bad news for the Braves. Really bad timing. Obviously, they're trying to scratch and claw at any wild card shot they have, and Schwellenbach has been one of their best pitchers, one of the best pitchers in baseball in general. I think you mentioned on the last baseball episode that Schwellenbach had the most innings pitched out of anybody. He's been a workhorse for the Braves.
Yeah. As of 4 or 5 days ago, Schwellenbach did have the most innings pitched in baseball and the least amount of average walks given up in a 9-inning period as well. To go with it. So not only is he a workhorse pitching many innings, he's not giving up many base runners by accident either. Yeah,
absolutely. That's been a huge part of his success. And it really sucks for the Braves. And it sucks for Schwellenbach too, especially for Schwellenbach. He's having the best season of his career. We don't really have a timetable for when he's going to be back. The Braves are pretty good about the timetable for Schwellenbach to return. They do think he's going to pitch more games this year. I think
How?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't.
Are they going to buy him a new arm?
Yeah, I really don't know if it's a good idea. they said it's a minor fracture, but even then, like, it's a partial fracture to the bone that you're putting all the stress on when you're throwing a baseball. You know, if you're going to throw 90 pitches in a game, you don't want to be recovering from a fractured elbow. Like, that's one of the areas that you have to put the most pressure on in order to throw a baseball. And
and you're
especially how
more
early it
likely
is.
gonna re-injure that part again.
Yeah.
I mean, a fracture's a fracture. But yeah, I mean, and it just sucks too, because for those who have been some recurring viewers, me and CJ have been really like hoping the Braves can make that mid-season resurgence or make a potential comeback in the NL East, and this sucks for them. I mean, they already lost Chris Sale, so this was their guy. This was their last hope, per se, in terms of having an ace in their rotation. And now everybody else is really going to have to step up if they even want a wild card spot at this point.
Yeah, 100%. That Chris Sale injury was a huge blow for them as well. The Schwellenbach injury afterwards is also going to be a massive hit for them. They've still kind of been struggling to make up for the missing of Chris Sale. They've been trying to use some guys in his place, but it hasn't really been working out. They haven't really found the guy that's really going to like make up for or take his place. I mean, how could you really expect someone to take his place? You know, he won Cy Young last year. But yeah, missing your top two pitchers in your rotation is going to be a huge blow to them. Mm-hmm. Spencer Strider has been playing better lately.
But he's streaky. He's streaky.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. He's going to have to be like pretty consistent, like top pitcher for them going forward if they're going to have any shot at making the playoffs, and it's not looking great for them.
Nope. Not at all, unfortunately. So all we can do is hope and pray that the Braves are going to do hot. They have actually been surpassed by the Marlins, who have won 9 straight. Isn't that crazy? Nine wins in a row for the Miami Marlins. They are hot right now. Pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
So it's really a toss-up for the National League wildcard races. We talked about last video as well. There's a lot of moving factors going on in there, and as we said before, we're really excited to see how it plays out in the later months, especially after we see the end of the trade deadline. Which, CJ, some trades that you want to get into right now?
Yes, I do. We have
potential trades.
Yeah, it's a big seller's market. I think there's a lot of people that are going to be giving up some guys. One team I want to focus on in particular is the Diamondbacks. I feel like the Diamondbacks are going to be selling probably a lot this year.
Yeah, especially since they're already under the Dodgers, the Giants, and the Padres.
Yeah.
They really got to figure out, reassemble some pieces.
Yeah, definitely. They're 11.5 games back in the division. And if they were going to make the playoffs, they'd have to jump past 4 teams. And I honestly don't really see them passing the Reds or the Cardinals, to be honest. And so, yeah, I think the Diamondbacks are going to be giving up some guys, probably looking to see what they can do in the future, kind of reassess, like you said. And there are some big names who are going to be free agents after this season. Diamondbacks are not going to have control over these players anymore. They're going to lose Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen, Josh Naylor, and Eugenio Suarez. 3 of their best players, and Zach Gallen. He's been struggling this year. But I mean, 4 of the main guys for the Diamondbacks are not going to be Diamondbacks unless they get a lot of money next year. So I wouldn't be surprised if they trade at maybe 2 of these guys. They could trade. I could see them getting Merrill Kelly going somewhere else. He's been good for the Diamondbacks. He's been good for the last several years for the Diamondbacks. But I mean, I don't see the Diamondbacks really using him to his full potential, like going forward. I think maybe a good place for him could be Toronto. I think the Blue Jays could really benefit from getting him.
Yeah, that's a really good pick, because I really do see like a lot of these guys going to some playoff teams who have some farm guys that they can give up in return, or maybe some decent performers who have potential to be better in the future that they are willing to give up now in hopes of making a World Series run this year. And Toronto is definitely one of those teams who is itching to get more guys. So I could definitely see them getting an extra pitcher for sure.
Yeah, totally. They only have 4 starting pitchers listed on their Baseball Reference page. They have Eric Lauer was a reliever for them at the start of the season, but he's been starting a couple more games. He has 6 starts this year. But Bowden Francis is listed as their 4 pitcher, and he has been struggling a lot. He's given up 43 runs in 64 innings, good for a 6.05 ERA, which is really bad, which is not good. If the Blue Jays are going to be a playoff team, Bowden Francis is not going to be starting games for them. I think that's just the honest truth. Either they're going to move him to the bullpen, or maybe he could be one of those young guys that they trade for Merrill Kelly. So I think Toronto could be a pretty good fit for them, and I think they'd be willing to give up some of their younger guys, to make a difference in their roster right now going forward, because the Blue Jays are now tied for first place with the Yankees.
So cool.
So it's so cool, man. We've been talking about the Rays the whole time, like when are they gonna get first, and then the Blue Jays just sneak up. It's awesome. The AL East is a lot of fun.
They've crossed the border.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, yep, yeah, definitely, yeah. So yeah, I think they could get even better if they add Merrill Kelly. And then another guy that I feel like they might give up is, I think out of any of the other guys, it would probably be Eugenio Suarez, I think. I think he would be the guy that they're most willing to give up, or probably could get the most value out of.
Yeah.
He's been great this year. We talked about him earlier. The power that he brings at third base is like, there's not a lot of players that can do what he does.
Yeah, maybe since if they do happen to give up Merrill Kelly, they can trade Eugenio Suarez in return for a pitcher to, or some potential pitchers to replace him.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I could see that happening for sure. As far as where Suarez might end up, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he went back to Cincinnati, if he was a Red again. The Reds are kind of in need of another like big bat. Obviously, Elly De La Cruz has been having an incredible season, but they don't really have another guy who can provide the power numbers that Elly can, or that Suarez can. And Suarez has played there before. He played really well there. I'm pretty sure that's where he hit 49 homers. When I mentioned earlier, his highest OPS plus in the season was when he was a Red. So he likes the ballpark. He plays well there. And the Reds are a contending team. They've been playing great lately.
Yeah.
And I think he could really push them into the wild card.
I see a different destination for him personally.
Okay.
I see him going to New York.
Ooh, which New York? The Mets?
No, the Yankees.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
The Yankees have been needing a third baseman, haven't they? I think they've been talking about trading for a third baseman. Yeah. Honestly, I think that could be a really good spot for him.
Yeah, I mean, like his type of bat is perfect for the ballpark.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean the short porches there, like his power number. He's got great power numbers right now, and he's doing that in Arizona, which is not a very friendly, not a very hitters friendly ballpark.
No.
So if he was doing that at Yankee Stadium, yeah, he's gonna make a big difference for that team.
Yeah. One day ago, I saw an article by a news media outlet called Fansided, and the headline was 3 third basemen the Yankees can acquire as an apology to Jazz Chisholm Jr. So yeah, no, I could see Eugenio Suarez going to the Yankees.
Yeah, that I could totally see that, and I could honestly see the Yankees making a trade like that.
Especially since they're tied for first place right now, and they want to get another bat to maybe solidify their chances a bit more. So
yeah, totally.
Power bat who's like literally neck and neck with Judge in terms of home runs and RBIs. That would be great for New York.
Yeah,
New
100%
Stanton, per se.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the Yankees have made moves like that in the past for like power hitting third baseman, like short term, because they need a guy. Obviously, Suarez is playing better than these guys were when the Yankees got him, but I mean, Todd Frazier was a Yankee for a bit. Josh Donaldson was a Yankee for a bit. The Yankees are no stranger to like renting out a third baseman, especially if it means that they're going to be a playoff favorite. Because yeah, they're not necessarily the favorite in the AL East right now. They are a contender.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I feel like it makes more sense to me, and it like given that.
Yeah, 100%.
But Toronto, but also could imagine Toronto just goes full on.
Oh, if it's like in the same trade, Kelly and Suarez to the Blue Jays.
Yeah, because Vlad's at first right now.
Yeah.
So who's at third for Toronto? Can you think of the top?
I think it's Ernie Clement has been the starter for them at third base. He's having a good year. He's hitting a 303. He's put up a 2.8 WAR. But I mean, George Springer is listed as their DH. He could play more outfield games. He's been playing good for them. I could see him maybe going to left, and then they put Suarez at DH. Mm-hmm. I think he would be a huge honestly, piece for that team.
Anywhere in the East, I could see him going.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, the Rays don't really have like that big name power guy. I mean,
dude, if he went to the Rays, that would be crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it would. There's a lot of options. I feel like the more we talk about him, the more likely I feel like it is that he gets traded, because there's so many places to go.
Total sense.
Yeah, 100%. So the next trade that we're going to go through, this one might be a little more surprising. It's a little bit of a lesser known name, kind of under the radar. I'm going to go with Pirates starting pitcher Mitch Keller, who has been having a really solid year.
Yeah, he's been hot lately.
He has been really hot. He's had a pretty solid career so far. He has got a 3.64 ERA right now. Mm-hmm. But the Pirates have only won 4 games that he has started all year. He has a 3.64 ERA with a 3-10 record. He has lost 10 games.
It doesn't add up.
No, it does not. He had a 13-game stretch where in every start except for 2, he allowed less than 4 runs. And the Pirates only won 1 of those 13 games. He is getting no run support. It's happening to him and Paul Skeens. It's not like this seems to be a Pirates issue. They have good pitching, but they can't get any run support for them. I feel like Mitch Keller kind of wants to get out of Pittsburgh, if I'm not going to lie.
I think everyone wants to get out of Pittsburgh, bro.
Honestly, that's true, yeah. The Paul Skeens contract is going to be insane wherever he decides to go. Mm-hmm. But I think Mitch Keller is a guy that could be moved this season. He wants to get out of Pittsburgh, I'm sure. And the other day he went 7 shutout innings, and he struck out 7 batters, gave up 5 hits. So he's been pitching great lately. There's a lot of value that he can provide right now. And
especially under a better team managing him too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If he gets more run support, I mean, he probably should have a positive record right now. If he was playing for most any other team, he'd probably be like 7-5 right now. And yeah, he's been doing great. Just hasn't gotten any support from the offense, which seems to be the story for the Pirates, honestly. So yeah, that's another guy who I think might get traded.
Yeah, valid. Where do you see him going?
Honestly, I think that, well, I did just mention them earlier, but if the Blue Jays don't get Merrill Kelly, I could see them going for Mitch Keller. Mm-hmm. I think he fits into that rotation as well. He could be a solid 2 or 3 in their rotation, and they need pitching. They have a couple solid guys. Jose Barrios has been doing great. Kevin Gausman hasn't been pitching to his 2022 caliber, 2023, but I mean, he has still been doing good. And if Mitch Keller gets added to that rotation, I think they're going to be doing even better than they already are.
Yeah, not to be contrarian, but I do see him going to a more Western team or 2 teams. I could see him going to either Houston or Seattle.
Ooh. Oh, okay. I like Seattle.
Just because, I feel like Seattle's strength is already pitching, so I feel like they would just want to double down on that.
Yeah.
And get another pitcher maybe. Or
Yeah,
in Houston, I mean, another ace is always going to work.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah. It feels like the Astros always find a way to make their pitches work. I mean, they always end up in first place, anyways.
Yeah.
Did just have a recent Luis Garcia injury. He's been one of their starters for the last several years, so
Good,
they could be
good
in
replacement.
need. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. They could be in need of another starting pitcher, so that could be a great spot for him too.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. I could totally see that. So on the topic of pitchers, this is going to be our last topic here today to end off the trade rumors discussion. We're going to talk about Clayton Kershaw. He has done something only 4 left-handed pitchers have done in baseball history, and that is achieve the number of 3,000 strikeouts. And not only did he do something historic this game just had a lot of drama, events in general, and I just want to dive into it really quick because it's a great story.
Sure.
So Kershaw's been in the league for 18 years, and he's finally done it. Isn't that crazy? He's been in the league for 18 years.
Yeah, man. It's been around for pretty much as long as I've been a baseball fan.
Yeah. And not only that, it has been a hard battle for him to get to this point. I mean, since 2016, Kershaw has been on the IL for at least 1 year every single year. From 2016 to this year, he's been on the IL at least once. So somehow he's defied those odds and came back to continue pitching and still have a career ERA under 3 and reach 3,000 strikeouts. I mean, and he's having a pretty decent year this year as well.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. He has been doing pretty solid so far. I mean, he is one of the best, if not the best pitcher of his generation. His peak that he went through, like his 2011 to 2017 stretch, was like unbelievable. He averaged like a 2.12 ERA over that like 7 or 8 year span each season. Like
probably close to, if not over 200 strikeouts to go with.
Yeah, I think it was 202 strikeouts he was averaging every season too. Yeah, throwing 200 innings. I mean, he has been maybe the best pitcher of the 2000s, 2010s. I'm trying to think of who else. Like, I feel like all the great pitchers were kind of like at their tail ends in the 2000s. You know, like you talk about the lefties that have 3,000 strikeouts. Randy Johnson has to be one of those guys.
Cecil Sabathia would be.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, he's probably the guy closest to Kershaw in that generation. I mean, Hall of Famer. Kershaw is going to be an inner circle first ballot Hall of Famer. He might be unanimous. Probably should be a unanimous Hall of Famer, honestly.
Unanimous. Like, yeah, people. I mean, he might not be strictly for those guys who harp on his postseason numbers.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
but you know, I mean, not that this has anything to do with it, but just to like comment on like Kershaw's influence on the league. I mean, not just you and me, but like how many kids did you know like impersonating Kershaw's wind up whenever we would like play baseball or like at practice or something, you know, like everyone. Yeah. Like people wanted to be Kershaw, and people love Kershaw, including us, and he's great. He deserves his respect. And also, only 2 other players in baseball history have achieved 3,000 strikeouts with one team. Kershaw's a third.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of
Walter Johnson's one of them.
Okay, Walter Johnson. Is the other one also a really old name?
I think it's Bob Gibson.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, it's totally Bob Gibson.
Yeah,
definitely.
But yeah,
I mean, those are some crazy names to be in a conversation with. You know, Kershaw has had an incredible career, and I'm happy for him that he has reached this milestone and that he did it with the Dodgers all on the same team. You know, because I feel like when his last contract went up, I feel like there were maybe some talks about. Like, I think there was a rumor he might sign with Texas because I guess he's from Texas. Maybe he'd want to spend his last couple seasons at like near home. But
I would hate that. I would have hated that.
Yeah. Seeing that like 2 years as Texas on his Baseball Reference would have been a little interesting. I don't think I would have liked that. So he's one of the best Dodgers of all time. And I'm happy for him.
Me too, 100%. So in the game where he did it, The offense started pretty quick. 6 combined runs in the first 3 innings. It was a pretty offensive game, but Dave Roberts, Dodgers manager, knew that Kershaw was close to getting 3,000. He wanted to give him every opportunity to get it. So he only had 2 strikeouts through the first few innings, so it was looking like maybe the offense was going to wear him out and he wasn't going to be able to get it this game. But then it starts slowing down. Kershaw starts settling in and stuff starts happening. And eventually a play happens at third base and Max Muncy destroys his leg.
Yeah.
The whole focus of the game shifts to Max Muncy and making sure that that man is okay, because he was going to, like we mentioned earlier, he was an all-star finalist and he got really hurt, and it's really sad.
Yeah. This it did not look good. His leg, it looked like Michael A. Taylor was diving into third, trying to steal, as you mentioned earlier, and his leg collided with Muncy's shin knee area, lower knee, and so Muncy's leg flies back toward, and his cleat gets clipped on the base. So you have the force of Taylor's helmet coming into Muncy's leg.
At full momentum,
pushing
over
it
200
back.
pounds of force plus diving.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Muncy's leg just stopping and bending in a way that it's not supposed to bend.
An unstoppable force meeting an immovable object.
Yeah, 100%. This did not look good. I wouldn't be surprised if it's maybe a hyperextension. I think people were saying it could be a sprain. But regardless of what it is, I hope it's the least severe that it could be.
Yeah.
And I hope for a speedy recovery for Muncy.
Yeah.
But yeah, this did not look good.
Yeah. So now everyone's just concerned and just wondering what's going to happen with Muncy. But then very shortly after this, the mood completely shifts. Kershaw gets his 3,000th strikeout on a strike 3 looking on Vinny Capra. Very awesome for Kershaw, but the game's not over. They are behind. Dodgers are still down, and they need to come back. And they enter the 9th inning down 2 runs. And force out and a sac fly later, the game's tied. And Freddie Freeman comes up to bat and he sends everyone home with a walk-off single to cap off a 3-run bottom of the 9th inning to make what was going to be probably a very upsetting game for the Dodgers, not only resulting in a loss, but them losing their all-star third baseman potentially. But it ended up being a career game for Clayton Kershaw and results of one of the biggest milestones you could ever achieve in baseball history, and a very awesome 9th inning comeback, which I'm sure made it feel a little better for Muncy.
Yeah, totally. This was this is an emotional roller coaster of a game for sure. There was so many events just that happened in this game, and I am glad that it was ended on a positive note. Mm-hmm. Freddie Freeman, I feel like it hits every Dodgers walk off every time they walk off.
Clutch.
He's so clutch, man. He's another guy that's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And yeah, it was looking pretty bad for a little bit. It would have felt weird if Kershaw's historic game was kind of overshadowed by an all-star injury and a loss. Obviously, the Muncy injury is still unfortunate, and we keep saying, we've said several times, we wish him a speedy recovery. But also, congratulations to Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, 100%. And it's, the baseball gods were definitely cooking in this game for sure.
Yeah. This was this was like a short film of a baseball movie. It's it had a whole introduction, like a twist, a climax, and everything. It was
Yeah, the washed up old pitchers coming in on a kind of career milestone. It seems like he's probably going to get it in the bag because they're facing a pretty bad team. Mm-hmm. But then the bad team starts doing really good against him. But then the momentum shifts. He starts settling down, and then they lose their star player. So all hope is starting to seem lost. But then he gets the freaking strikeout. He gets it. But what's the point if the team's going to lose? So now he has to ride his feelings on the momentum of his team trying to get the score back, and then they end up doing it in the bottom of the last inning, so now everyone wins.
Yeah, honestly,
It's
yeah,
great.
that was a really good description. Honestly, I could totally like imagine that in my head while you're saying that.
Yeah, really awesome game. I'm glad that it ended this way, and that is going to also be how we end our episode today. So next episode, we are going to be reviewing Ironheart episodes 4 through 6, and holy crap, we are excited to talk about what happened in those, because
Yeah,
so much stuff happened. It went in a completely different direction that we thought we were going, but it also went in a direction that we somewhat theorized it was going in.
yeah,
So no, we didn't think our theories were actually going to happen, but they actually kind of happened. It was incredible. It was a very amazing watch, and we're going to dive into all of it. So definitely tune in for that one. It's coming out on Saturday, as we are going to be enjoying our 4th of July. And I hope you guys enjoy your 4th of July. And when you wake up Saturday, you will see that video for sure. So thank you guys for watching. This has been the Sci-Fly Zone, where the multiverse meets the 7th inning stretch. I am Trenton. This is CJ, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.